Hello and welcome into Three and a Half Guys. I'm Alec Rapp, and with me, as always, is Miles Metter and Alec Schmidt. We have a very special guest tonight. We have Jason Pirtle, the tight end for the University of North Texas. So, Jason, how are you doing tonight?
Doing well. Thank you.
That's good. So we just want to start off asking, a simple question. So when did you actually start playing football? Because I know you have quite the resume in high school. And so when did you first start playing?
Yeah, I think I first started playing in fourth grade. I believe I played for a year, but then after that, I quit until seventh grade, and started as a running back in seventh and eighth grade, and then moved to receiver when I went to high school with Mason, and yeah, that's how it all started.
So, you came out of a smaller high school, and it was harder to get recruited out of there? Like,
Yeah. Recruiting was a big deal when I was in high school. Just like trying to get in contact with anybody and coaches and stuff, and the coach I had in high school, like he's from some big schools. So every player they'd had in the past, like when you're from a big school, it's easier to get noticed. Coaches will come to you, but when you're from a small school, it's hard, and people don't just notice you. And when they see you, they'll have their doubts. And obviously, I had mine being slow and whatnot, and just the competition we played was lesser. So instead of looking at the skills and stuff that I'd have, it was just looking at all the negatives and stuff. So it was really hard to get the foot in the door in a lot of places, and ended up with some good D2 offers and stuff until I got an offer to walk on here a week before signing day. So that was a late blessing, but worked out so far. So.
Why did you decide to go to North Texas instead of maybe the D2 and work your way up to Division I?
Yeah, that was always a thought, was just being able to work my way up, and getting school paid for at D2 would be good, but I just didn't feel like I'd be happy. I always thought I could accomplish more, and I love the coaches at North Texas when I was coming in, and Seth knew my high school head coach. I said Seth, Coach Trail, but yeah, he knew my high school head coach. So they had that connection, and then it was close to home. So I mean, everything really worked out well, and obviously Mason ended up coming here too. That wasn't a deciding factor, but it helps. It's always great to be around people and going to a bigger town like Denton is from where I'm from. It was a little intimidating, but have a little bit of familiarity there was a bonus.
So you had mentioned that, it was tough to get recruited because you're in a small school. So what did you do in high school and what do you do now to just stand out above everybody else on the field?
Yeah, so in high school, like just after practice every day, me and Mason would work on stuff that we thought was important to our skill sets and stuff, being having our liabilities, and so we'd work on our weaknesses, and then now definitely being a tight end, I work on a lot of technique and do a lot of film work just to have a mental edge and small edges where I can. Like I may not be able to beat somebody athletically or something like that, but with technique or just knowing what they're going to do and using that against them or whatever, that's just kind of where I try to have a step above everybody because that's my best chance. So.
You were a big high school star. I mean, you made like the Oklahoman, like the newspaper, like first team. What was that like? You were pretty big in the state of Oklahoma football wise.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I feel like we got a lot of publicity that a lot of high schoolers, definitely from small towns, don't get. When the whole All-State Oklahoman came out junior year, they bring us out to watch the whole Jim Thorpe Award and give everybody their All-State Award and stuff like that. So that was a really cool experience. And then going into my senior year, some people from the Tulsa World, which newspaper by us, followed us around for a year and like did a little mini documentary on us. They wrote out in the paper and they posted YouTube videos about it. So that was really cool opportunity that a lot of people don't get, and just to make those connections with those guys. Like those guys were really cool. They did a lot of help for us, and it was really nice just to get to know people and genuine people. They really cared and really loved what they did, and it was just a cool experience that you don't always get at small schools and stuff like that. So.
How hard was it to make the transformation from star receiver to a tight end in college?
Yeah, so that was actually a lot easier than I expected it to be, honestly. With Coach Mays, he's really good, and he broke it down really easily, and he focuses on technique a lot, and that was good for me to see that and to learn that fast because early on that was the only thing that could really save me. Because I still when I first switched to tight end last spring, I was still small and stuff like that, so I put on some weight since then, but early on, I was still really small and it was kind of a struggle, but he was really good, helped me out, learning a lot of things. I had to learn defensive fronts, what the O lineman was doing, all kinds of stuff that I didn't quite know before. And then having Kelvin in the room was great. I asked him 1,000 questions a day, just how to do this, how to attack people, like when they're playing this defense, or whatever, and he'd break it down and spend a lot of time with me learning. So it wasn't easy. Mentally, it was the hardest thing, just learning just to hit people, and I didn't get all the way through there until midpoint of the season. Just having that mentality that if you go hit somebody, like they don't want to get hit either. So just changing mentality was really the hardest thing, and
So you had mentioned that you watch a lot of tape. Is there somebody that you grew up watching or watch now, like in the NFL, that you would say that you would try to model your game after?
yeah. So in high school, I watched a lot of Larry Fitzgerald. He was just very consistent and great hands and stuff like that. So Larry Fitzgerald was always my guy in high school, but since I've moved tight ends, I just watch a variety of guys, honestly. Obviously, it's fun to watch George Kittle and stuff like that, but he's a freak athletically and stuff like that. He doesn't always you know do things that I can do. So I just we get to watch a lot of NFL film. So I just watch a lot of different guys, and then mainly I just kind of watch myself and more mistakes I'm doing because I know the techniques and stuff that I should be doing here and there, and if I watch it, I can see what my mistake was, and I'll try to go out to practice and work on that the next day or whatever it may be. So.
That first season that you were at North Texas, you were redshirted in 2016. How much do you think that helped go into the 2017 season for you?
Yeah, I think the redshirt year was, I learned a lot. Just being under guys that were playing, Thaddeus Thompson, he was there at the time, and Kenny Byers, and then just learning and Kelvin still to this day. And it's just learning how to prepare and how to get ready for games and stuff like that was more of anything. And I just kind of use that year to just adjust to the college life and traveling because even when I redshirted, I traveled to games and stuff, so I was able to get used to that instead of having to stay at home all weekend and practice on Sunday when they get back. I was able to get used to all the travel and stuff like that. So that was good for me. I didn't really have to prepare for the games. I just got to kind of got used to everything. So that was nice. On the field, it's been a while. It didn't really, help me a little bit, but I still sat behind Mike for a couple of years and just recently got on the field a lot this last year. So I'm sure it helped me, but honestly, I can really point to an area where, honestly, or just adjustment to college life more than anything.
How do you feel like you improved last season?
Yeah, so I think in the spring, a lot of things I struggled with was just getting too high with my hips and my hands, and just a lot of footwork things that, when you're blocking people that are way bigger than you, it's things that you learn. Just came with reps. And also, I got hurt last spring, so I didn't even have a lot of time in the spring to even prepare. So during the season, early on, we still go back. We're learning our offense and stuff. We're looking back at last year. I looked at the tape, and I could tell, my footwork right now, and towards the end of the season was so much improved from the first 2, 3, 4 games. Being able to read defenses, understand what they're doing, really improved a lot. Early on, we'd be in a meeting room and we'd be watching teams, and Coach Mays would ask Kelvin hey, what are they doing? And Kelvin would just be able to answer it. And I was just like, how does he know that? So I spent a lot of time with Kelvin, a lot of time just watching, trying to figure out why they knew what they were doing. And as you play more and stuff happens to you in real time, it gets easier to see. So mentally, grew a lot last season. Footwork, improved a bunch, just staying under myself and having the power, when you hit somebody, and then staying low enough that you don't just get thrown around.
So is there anything that you do to, kind of take the guys beneath you that maybe freshmen or sophomores under you, kind of train them in the way that, you did with your redshirt season in these past few years?
Yeah, so basically what I'm trying to be is what kind of Kelvin was to me last year. It's been weird through this pandemic, obviously. We're not able to get on the field. We're not able to teach one-on-one. And early on in the spring, we'd meet, go over plays, go over the playbook. We'd go over techniques and stuff like that, just in the film room, just because spring, we didn't have a whole lot to do, so we were just doing that. During this pandemic, it's been hard, so we'll FaceTime people, and they'll ask some questions, and I'll try to explain it. Obviously, it's been a weird time for everybody. But yeah, I just want to just teach them, things that I've learned. And what's cool about the tight end room is we're all very different, but we're all similar at the same time. Is a lot of us came in as walk-ons, and then even the ones that didn't come in as walk-ons, basically transferred from another position like me too, in some degree. So we all have a lot of stuff in common, and we're all small except for Asher and Cole are pretty big. Other than that, we're all pretty small, so they all need to learn technique, and luckily that's one thing that I'm pretty good at, I think. So just trying to teach them that, and just learning how to take care of your business off the field and stuff like that. And they've done a great job. I'm really proud of the tight end room, just how they've done in the classroom, off the field. We've had really no problems at all getting everything done and what they have to do. So they've been pretty easy to coach and be around, and really enjoy them. So.
Okay, so then I'm sort of transitioning to this past season. After that week 1 game against Abilene Christian, you had an amazing performance, 3 touchdowns, and you were named the Offensive Player of the Week. So was there any added pressure going into the next game?
Obviously, yeah. Obviously, coming off of that, you get excited. You want to keep doing that yourself. I mean, I think the most pressure was. Sorry about that. I think the most pressure was for myself more than anything. Just want to keep performing well and stay in the rotation and stuff. Kelvin didn't play week 1 and came back week 2, so I ended up only playing 8 plays in that second game. So whatever pressure I had was pretty much gone, because there was not really a whole lot of time to get out there and really show anything. So and so it kind of was there, but I was really worried about it. I knew Kelvin would be back, and it wasn't like I didn't feel like I did anything special that first week. Obviously the stats look good and stuff like that, but I didn't feel like I just went out there and made some mid plays. I kind of did my job, and they were pretty routine and stuff, so it wasn't too too much on my plate. And feel like now once Kelvin got hurt again later in the season, that's when I really think the pressure honestly was the highest. Just because I knew like if he was hurt for a couple of weeks, we might miss him. It could have been longer. We didn't really know at that time when he first got hurt. Thankfully, he wasn't hurt that bad. But yeah, that's when the pressure was the highest. I would say later on.
Do you have a goal for this upcoming season?
Yeah. First off, I mean, gotta improve our team. Honestly, just like team goals are always first, and we'd love to win a conference championship, and love to win a bowl game. I've never won a bowl game since I was here. I think we've got a great opportunity. We got a lot of good guys returning, and a lot of those young players from last year. They'll make a strides forward, hopefully. Um, obviously, with this pandemic, it's been tough to really gauge where we're at and where we could be, but still have high hopes. As for myself, I'd like to make an all-conference team. Um, Stats, I don't really have any specifics. Just that's kind of my goal is to make an all-conference team, and that's about it for me.
So you might not be able to answer this question, but is there anything new that we can expect from the offense this year? I know we had some changes this offseason. Is there anything new that we can expect, or are you not allowed to answer that?
I would say like it's not going to be something crazy, but the only thing I can say is I think we'll put a lot of points on the board, and it should be quite a bit of fun from what I'm seeing so far. So.
All right, sounds good.
Going to the training side of things this year, from spring now into summer, how has it been different? With the pandemic, you can't meet up with your teammates, you can't have full team practices.
Yeah, so us missing out on spring ball was huge, definitely with all the coaches that we brought in and stuff like that, and have a lot of young guys in there. So yeah, that was a big deal. We'd like to get in there and definitely learn the systems and stuff like that. So that's the main deal that's been different. Obviously, we haven't been able to lift weights. We haven't been able to do all that kind of stuff. And it's been weird. It's been tough. Uh, as athletes, like we are consistently on a routine and on a some sort of organized matter, and this pandemic basically ruined all of that. So what I did, I got a job at Walmart. I've been trying some new things out, doing some things that I may not have had time for otherwise. Trying to have fun. I haven't been home near as much as I thought I would be, but yeah, it's been weird. Basically, all our meetings are on Zoom and stuff like that. So like, we haven't been able to see people like face to face, and that's how you build a lot of camaraderie and stuff. And I've been missing all my teammates, all my friends. Like it's been such a weird time. And I think that's for everybody. Not just athletes and stuff, but just staying in shape wise as far as training. I've just been running by myself pretty much. A little bit recently with Kyla and stuff like that. And then luckily, kind of in a way, this is a little bit like I was able to go up for rehab and stuff. We had rehab available to us if we had any injuries before all this hit. And so I was able to go to rehab and still kind of get some workout on my legs, core, and stuff like that. That's just kind of involved in what I was doing. So, it's been a weird time, but when we get back, we'll see who took advantage of it, who didn't, and hopefully, I'm pretty confident most of our guys, at least got out there, did something. I've been seeing some videos of people working hard, so just excited to finally get back next week.
So I know spring is where the younger players get noticed more. What younger player that's been in the system do you think really shines this upcoming season?
Yeah, that's a tough one to answer. Really, with we didn't get to really have spring, but I think for one, just in the tight end room, Asher, from what I can tell, he's took a big step physically forward. Put on a lot of good weight and looks really good running. Outside of that, I think Deontay Simpson, the receiver, I think he could have a big year. He played a lot last year as a freshman, and I think just another year, that experience, I think that'll help him a lot. And then Oscar Adaway, running back. I think he's going to be a beast. We got a little glimpse of that when he got in a little bit last year, towards the end of the year. But that running back was pretty deep. I think they could all have great games anytime. So that was really hard to call. But yeah, I think there's a few guys to be excited about, and hopefully they'll prove me right.
So this question doesn't really pertain to your game specifically, but what is your favorite uniform that UNT has for football?
Can you repeat that? I didn't hear the end of that.
Oh, that's okay. What's your favorite uniform that UNT wears? Is there one that
I love. Yeah, so I'm kind of torn here. I love the all whites. All whites are really clean, and obviously that was what I wore in Abilene when I had my best game. So I have a place for the all whites. But the throwbacks are so clean. I love the throwbacks with the NT on the helmet. They're so nice. I wish we'd just wear those all the time, but that and the all whites are my two favorites. So.
We've had our schedule released for a while now. What game are you specifically looking forward to most on this upcoming schedule?
It's tough. Right now I just want to play football. I'm tired of being away from everything. So, whichever one comes first, Houston Baptist, I just want to play. Obviously, you look at A&M, and you get the chance to go in there. I mean, I've never done the field for extremely rowdy crowd. I was at the game and played Florida in 2016, and then Iowa was pretty big, but I didn't really play that game either. So I'm excited to be on the field. For the A&M game, obviously that's going to be nuts. I've never been to an A&M game. I've never really been an A&M fan growing up. Grew up in Oklahoma and stuff, so I'm not like this. Big A&M fan, wow. But I know their stadium gets pretty rowdy, and obviously we pull off that upset, and it'll be huge. So that's obviously really exciting. I guess that'd be the one that really most excited about.
This kind of pertains to the last question. What is the toughest atmosphere you've been in or played in?
Yeah, so the one I've witnessed was Florida was absolutely insane. They were so loud, but nearly the entire game, and they were beating the brakes off of us. So I'd just say Florida. As far as I've actually played in, I'd probably go Iowa. I didn't really play a lot, but I played a little bit. And they were really loud, and it's always fun pulling up to those Power 5 games because people are outside, people are talking to you on the bus, and that's a lot more fun. A lot of these Conference USA schools, you don't get that a lot, so it's a lot of fun to pull up to those schools. Just fans are a lot more interactive, a lot more into it.
So, what is your favorite UNT game? It doesn't necessarily have to be one that it was making a play. What's been your favorite moment so far?
Yeah, a favorite moment off the top of my head, probably just the drive when we beat UTSA. That game, that whole year, we pulled out so many crazy wins. So, and that was kind of the start of it. Obviously 98 yards and a minute and 8 seconds or whatever with no timeouts was ridiculous. And even if I wasn't on the team, I was a fan or whatever, seeing that, how crazy that was just was ridiculous. Also, another one for me, we played Arkansas. I beat Arkansas. It was on my birthday, so that was really cool as well. I got to see all my friends and stuff. A lot of them were at the game. So it was cool beating a Power 5 team, obviously, and on my birthday. So it was that was pretty cool too. So.
Knowing that since we're in the middle of a pandemic, we don't really know what crowds are going to look like this year. So say crowds are at 25, 50%. How much do you think that would benefit or hurt you, the team, everything?
I think everybody's got to deal with it, so I don't think it's going to really benefit or hurt anybody necessarily just off the top of your head or my head, but obviously just be whatever team can get up and get excited by themselves, and I think that'll be a big focus in the summer and in fall camp, just bringing our own energy and stuff like that. That could be, a very real possibility. You have to, and we've played at some pretty empty stadiums, and it's hard. It's hard to really bring your energy because you work year round to go play in front of some fans, and to feel that energy, to feel that excitement, and 50% wouldn't be too bad. At least most people there are probably pretty hardcore fans, I would say. But if it's down 25%, whatever, it's going to be tough. Just to get excited about it. Obviously, you're still working. You're still excited to play, but it's just hard when you're out there. It's hot, definitely early on in the year. It's not gonna be easy, but we'll see how it shakes out, and hopefully we'll get up more around 50 to 75% of fans, and it wouldn't be too bad.
On a more lighter note, what was it like? What was the experience like making 3 straight bowl games in your first 3 years at UNT?
Yeah, that was it's really cool. Bowl games are obviously a lot of fun. Get to go to some cities that I haven't been to. Get to kind of see the area. New Mexico, cool. We get to go on top of some mountains, and never been to New Orleans, and just kind of cool to see. And then playing in the Mercedes-Benz Dome was pretty dope. And bowl games are just a lot of fun. You get a lot of extra practice that is not quite as intense early on. You get to kind of enjoy your teammates some more. You get to kind of let loose, have fun for a few weeks. You're not always in school when you're practicing, so you kind of get to practice and hang out with the guys. So, bowl games are really cool, and then you stay in the hotel for, a week before the game. So, there's a lot of positives, and really brings the team together, I think, and you really get to just kind of enjoy football. The regular season stuff is always a grind, nonstop. Just every day you wake up doing the same thing, and you got classes and all this stuff. But once you get those bowl games, it's kind of fun to be able to let loose and kind of enjoy it.
All right. Well, I think that is going to be it for us. Thank you for joining us. It's been great to have you. We wish you the best of luck this coming season. I'm hoping we're all going to be able to be there to watch. But each day it looks more and more like we're going to have fans in stadiums. So I'm excited for that. Thank you once again for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. All right, well, that's going to be it from us here at 3.5 Guys. Our next episode, we have another football player for you guys, so stay tuned for that.